essence in my hands. It's flowing all around me when I move. And though I do not really understand, I don't need to, I don't need to. I feel a loving substance everywhere, joining me in everything I do. And though I do not know how it got there, I don't need to, I don't need to. I relax into this peace of mind, going far beyond my mind. I reach into this calm stillness, where who I truly am is blessed. I peel away the shackles I have worn to live the life I know is really true. And in this choice my world is now reborn, because I need to, because I have to, because I must, because I need to, because I have to, because I must. I feel a golden essence in my hands, flowing all around me when I move. And though I do not really understand, I don't need to, I don't need to. I relax into this peace I find, going far beyond my mind. I reach within the calm stillness, where who I truly am is blessed. I peel away the shackles I have worn to live the life I know is really true. And in this choice my world is now reborn, because I need to, because I have to, because I must, because I need to, because I have to, because I must. Good morning, Unity of Bonaire.
All right, so welcome to everyone who's out there online and everyone who's here in the sanctuary. We actually have the full sanctuary seating in, finally. So let's start the service the way we always do, with Claudia's wonderful song, God is Good and All Is Well.
What a wonderful morning, beyond compare. I feel God's loving presence everywhere. I am filled with joy profound in a world where many miracles abound. In the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. In the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well.
Oh, good morning, everyone here in Unity at Bonaire Sanctuary and out there on live stream. We welcome you to Unity of Bon Air. And I'm Reverend Valerie, Associate Minister here. And I hope you noticed, those of you who were here, the TLC that had gone into the gardens. We had Sacred Service Garden Day yesterday, and there were many hands to make light work. So there's some beautiful display of our gardens with new mulch, and so do take the time to enjoy after the service. And let's give a round of applause to all of our volunteers, to Joanne Einsman, Gretchen Bard, and the garden team. To Barbara Spicer and her team, who provided some wonderful refreshments. And Barbara's like hiding out there in the hallway, but we really appreciate what she's done. And today, after the service on the promenade, you will see some pre-packaged, wonderful homemade vegetable soup in containers and some desserts pre-packaged by the team who provided wonderful refreshments. So go ahead and mosey on by there on your way out, and you'll have lunch. All right. So we welcome you all to Unity of Bon Air, where we live and express unconditional love and acceptance, and we grow together in peace and prosperity. I'm glad to be here with you this morning, both in person and online. So whether this is your first time here or your 100th time joining us, we are grateful for your presence and participation as we share this special time together. We've come together as a part of divine love's purpose that calls each one of us forth to celebrate this connection that we all share through the Holy Presence, all around and in us, that we call God. And in this spirit of community, we do unfold in light and love all spiritual and religious gatherings around Richmond and around the world, all people everywhere. And we begin this time together with this special message from our daily word. And the daily word today is pray for others. With mind and heart, I know the truth for each person that I hold in prayer. A friend, during this time of prayer right now, we hold in our hearts these positive intentions that were outlined in the daily word today. We affirm abundance and healing and release from fear for those whom we pray. And for all human hearts and minds. And as we pray together now, we hold in our hearts our beloved Fran Householder and Andy Householder and their family, as Andy made his transition this morning. And so we hold in our hearts Fran and her family. We lift her up, we lift them up with a spirit of love and strength and comfort. We bless Andy and his new life in spirit, free and whole, living in the presence of infinite love. And for all of those who are on your heart this day, we bring together during this prayer time, in your mind's eye or aloud, you may say the names of those that you are praying with and for at this time. And during this time of prayer, we also call forth and affirm the softening of human hearts, the opening to the awareness of the divine inheritance and divine expressions that we all are, as expressions of the oneness of all that is. And so we feel the peace of God, the love of God, the presence of God, and the power of God here now, bringing us to greater awareness and expression of love and light and peace in the world and in our hearts. And for this, we are grateful. So let us say together 3 times, I am grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful, and so it is. And before we do the song, by the way, I have a few things I like to do, and the one is to introduce our speaker today, Reverend Vicki Bunch. In 2006, Vicki graduated from the Unity Institute and Seminary and served Unity of Richmond as an ordained co-minister with her husband, Richard Bunch, for 10 years. In 2016, she retired from active church ministry and followed the call to study at the Hayden Institute, where she received a spiritual direction certification in the Jungian, mystical, and dream work tradition. Prior to ministry, Vicki received her master's in social work from Virginia Commonwealth University in Bowen Family Systems Therapies and worked in hospitals, family service agencies, and private practice. It is her passion to encourage conscious integration of one's psychological perspective with one's spiritual development. And I can say firsthand that I have received the blessing of Vicki's beautiful way of being and spiritual direction, and so let us welcome her with a warm applause right now. Thank you. And also I have a couple of special announcements too. Remember, we have begun our Mission Imaginable campaign. So we have the idea of multiple in-person or virtual small group gatherings are planned over the next several weeks so we can reconnect, meet new friends, and brainstorm how our UBA community can do more to live and express unconditional love and acceptance. Your mission is to sign up to join one of these groups and help us build on our legacy as we approach the milestone of 1 decade in this building, this beautiful sanctuary and building. So I have placed a sign-up sheet in the back of, as you exit the sanctuary today. There's some hand sanitizer, there's a clipboard, and you can sign up if you are interested in either participating in one of the virtual or one of the in-person or one of the home groups. And you can just put your preference on that sign-up sheet as you leave today. And there are other ways in which you can do so as well, which you'll see instructed in the e-news. And starting next Sunday, we also have the amazing opportunity to journey to abundance in 1 week through 4 steps to greater prosperity awareness. And that starts with Cheryl Fair's lesson next Sunday and some subsequent lessons from Sunday evening in the 5 p.m. and then Tuesday and Thursday after. So you can have the opportunity to participate in this greater awareness of abundance and prosperity. So that starts next week with the Sunday lesson, More, More, More. That's the title of her lesson, and then followed by the spiritual gathering. All right, so look for details of all this in our e-news and sign up. And now,
God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place.
All right, so now I'd like to welcome our newcomers. So those of you who are online, who are new to us, give us a shout out and say hello in the Facebook or the YouTube chat. And those of you who are here today, we have some welcome packets for you. So we bless you, we love you, and we welcome you to Unity of Bon Air. And so now let us stand together and say our statement of truth. I think I just did something out of order, right?
Prayer?
We did that. I did that already, so. I was really ahead of the game.
Well, then,
All right.
Can we have a congregational
Yeah.
song now?
Yes, so now let us stand and sing our congregational song with our music team. You'll see the lyrics on the screen.
I let God and let go. I live in love and in the flow. I know I know I am one with the one.
All right. Thank you, Dan, Nancy, and Julie. All right. Let us remain standing as we say our statement of truth. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God, the omnipotent good. And as unity principles are based on the teachings of Jesus, we honor that legacy by singing the Lord's Prayer. You may be seated.
And if you know this next song, please join us. Although there won't be words up there. Kind friends all gathered round, there's something I would say, that what brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside, where strangers are as family and loneliness can't hide. You must give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
I walk these mountains in the rain. I learned to love the wind. I've been up before the sunrise to watch the day begin. I always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. Like sunshine on a cloudy day, you stand before me now. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Love is born in fire, it's planted like a seed. Love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. Love comes when you're ready, love comes when you're afraid. It'll be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made.
So give yourself to love. If love is what you're after, open up your heart to the tears and laughter. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. So give yourself to love. If love is what you're after, open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
Good morning. You are my Unity beloveds, and I am so happy to share this morning with you. You're sitting behind your mask, so I know some of you out there, maybe we'll reveal ourselves afterwards. I just want to thank Nancy and Dan and Julie this morning. I love them. They have been... They've been part of my home church, which is Unity of Richmond. And so I really feel like it's just a wonderful sharing day, and I feel very welcomed here. Thank you so much. So I always like to start with a prayer. Before I speak, it's the legacy I learned from my father. Jeremiah 33:3, call on me, and I will tell you great and wonderful things of which you do not know. So the prayer that we're going to say is just maybe a sentence or two, but I want to share it with you that we say it from the consciousness of God. Not pleading, not begging, oh, we're going to have a great morning, I hope. Rather, we're going to be in this place of already acknowledging the beauty that's happening at this now moment. So from the consciousness of God, listen to these words. We enter this moment breathing together. Let's just feel ourselves breathing in this moment, the deliciousness of being here at Unity of Bon Air, with our friends, or at home in our pajamas, whichever the case may be. We enter this moment softening, resting, relaxing, and understanding we are the beloved. And this great love that moves through us is pouring itself into our lives, helping us to be awake. And so we say thank you for this great love, this moment, right now. And so it is. So that's the prayer. And I really want to introduce that because so often we get stuck in the thinking that prayer is all about let's make something good happen, rather than saying something wonderful is already here, pouring itself on us. So I want to say that to you personally and to our music team and also for the whole spiritual community here and the greater unity movement in the world. Things are, the good, God, the good, omnipotent good is happening right now. So this is part of my message today that I'm here to share with you. A very comforting message, actually, and that is that all there is has your back. Want me to say it again? Do you believe it? Yes. All there is has your back. You are protected. You are loved. You are safe. You're comforted. You're healed. You're successful. You are the beloved. So if we know that, and we know that we're the beloved and that the good is being paved out for us already, we just need to step into it once we discern what it is we want and need. So with all that good news, then I have a question for us to ponder. The question is, why then, if we know this, we have this in our heads, why do we suffer? Why do we feel bad? Why do we see people feeling bad? Why do we experience pain? And so I want us to kind of hold that thought, hold that question at bay while I read you a poem. Now this poem is written by a female, so I apologize in advance to the males in the room. But it's a real special one, so just apply it to your own life as you will. Mary says this: every day I want to speak with you. And every day something more important calls for my attention. Maybe it's the drugstore, the beauty products, the luggage that I need to buy for my trip. Even now, I can hardly sit here among the falling piles of paper and hearing the garbage trucks outside screeching and banging. The mystics say, you are as close to me as my own breath. Then why do I flee from you? My days and nights pour through me like complaints and become a story I forgot to tell. Help me. Even as I write these words, I am planning to rise from the chair as soon as I finish this sentence. Oh yes, Mary hit it. In the busyness of life, we are not even stopping. I say we, not all. I'm including myself in this we. We are so busy we don't stop to listen. Just to be resting and relaxing in the love in this universe. So even though we might have this desire to be closer to Spirit, we're going to continue on our merry way and get all of our tasks done. Now, if ever there was a task-oriented person on the face of this earth, I'm one of them. Don't know about you, but if I have my list, I want to get it done. And you see, there's one hand, it's helpful, efficient, and all that. On the other hand, it's not. Because if I put my list above my listening time with Spirit, you see what I've done? I'm all out of balance. Part of my work in spiritual direction is helping me, and now helping others to consider how they use the waking day, and how dreams can also support you during the night. Spirit's always talking with us. So Eric Butterfield, or is it Butterworth? Eric Butterworth, okay. A minister out of Unity, New York, has a great legacy that he has given us before he passed. And he addresses this allness of God, saying, we flee from it because we don't have the time to be present. We're so careful about doing things that we've done in the past, the patterns, the habits that we have, the ways of thinking, the same thoughts day after day. And so we are actually stepping out of that circle of presence just by the egoic things that we choose to do. Now, we don't know that ego's involved, but if it's an unconscious doingness, then generally the ego is in the driver's seat rather than Spirit. So if we're stressed and we're reacting we are disconnected from source. So let me read to you this wonderful quote from Reverend Butterworth. To practice the presence is to live constantly as if you really believed that the allness of God, the divine potential for wholeness, was present within you with every part and parcel of your life. Every concern you have, every experience of your involvement with people, in every solid function of your body, to actually believe it and act on it as if you believe it. Now that takes some doing. So if we really get what he is saying, that we are not separate from our source, that every part of us, every relationship, everything we think and do has this potential for wholeness, for understanding, for healing. And I'm not saying perfection. I'm talking about interactions on the human level that we can actually take to spirit and feel the difference. So, if we haven't eased God out, we're able to sit and reflect. And the first thing we can reflect on, what has been our participation in any discord? I sit with myself and ask, how did I show up? Not just what did the other person say. So, if we're gracious with ourselves and filled with grace, which all of us have within us, that unconditional love, we begin to connect it inside. And we come from that place of calming the inner critic, or blaming someone else, or shaming ourselves. My goodness, we really must work on that, because therein is the allness of God at work in our lives, and we want to be protected from hurting ourselves, don't we? So let me stop now and ask, did you just get what I just said? Do you really understand what I just said? Because if you do, you're going to be able to stop in your tracks and sit yourself down and say, what did I just say? What did I just do? And in listening to oneself, not in a place of blame, not in a place of self-criticism, but awareness. It's awareness. So the allness of God, according to our spiritual teachers, can only work if we show up, if we are aware that it's here, it's already here. And when we give ourselves to that love, we know what's happening. Something happens in us. Our physiology changes, our brain changes, and we begin to see that we're changing because we're in a state that's not separate from love. We're actually in it. We're in the stew. So, let me tell you a little story that Tara Brach, who is a meditation teacher, Buddhist meditation teacher, I listen to her frequently on Wednesday evenings. She has a story of a dog, and this dog is tied to a tree. Some of you may have heard this story already, but I love it. I love telling this story. So we go over and we pet the dog and we say, oh, good dog. And we just are anxious to have this warmth come back to us, but instead the dog growls at us. And then we recoil and say, bad dog, bad dog. And we try to get out of the way because the dog is lunging at us. Now, all of a sudden we notice the dog's paw is caught in a trap. And so this love in us stirs, and we feel compassion for this dog. And so we know that with boundaries and safe precautions, we can actually establish a safe relationship and help this dog because we do care about it. Well, the same thing is true in our human relationships. We think, oh, this is a good relationship. Nope, this is a bad relationship. No, this is one I'm going to really enjoy. No, they said something and now I can't have that relationship. And so we're putting up parameters all the time without settling and being in this place of love and compassion. And somehow we already know that each of us carries a level of difficulty, either memories of the past or unresolved issues or fears of the future or a diagnosis from the doctor or something is going on in our lives. And if we can just come from that assumption of compassion, then we are loving to everyone. And our ability to forgive ourselves has direct correlation to the amount of joy that we can feel freeing ourselves. And so our understanding is that we don't push this injured dog out of our hearts, nor do we push anyone out of our hearts, much less ourselves. That inner critic can be pretty tough. And I have had times when I've needed to have a great deal of self-compassion, and I've wondered, is this selfish of me to really love myself? But you see, it's not if that self is my higher self that understands either I've a lesson to learn, I have to listen to Spirit's guidance on how to reconcile a situation. I have some forgiveness work to do, and so on. That's the self that I really, really, really can love. The other self is the wounded self that needs to be loved as well. But that is a nurturing kind of love. And it requires patience, and sometimes it requires community to sit and be with one another so that we can reflect the pain involved and then move us up into the principle involved. Because what we're really asking for today in this message, what I'm suggesting is that we're not just learning that there's love in the universe and all there is protecting us. It's really, we're learning principle. And we're learning to stand on principle. We're learning that it's active in my life, active in your life. And if we come from this place of non-judgment and we hold that for each other, oh my goodness, we have got a real flow, an outpouring of love that you can feel. You can feel it from the tone of voice, the way someone looks at you through their eyes, their body language, their openness and willingness, that whole softening of the individual with one another. Now, this essence that Butterworth mentions that's in us is all about love is our only reality. Everything else is illusion. Now we can learn that through Course in Miracles, through the teachings of Jesus, through the great masters of this world that have been on this planet. What we can do to really embody that love is to risk our own vulnerability. Have you ever gone to someone when you felt a little unworthy and you needed to just apologize and get through any shameful feelings you had? It's hard to do, isn't it? Our instinct is to have our armor in place. No one's going to hurt this girl. But you see, it's not about hurting me. It's about helping me. It's about helping one another. Especially if we say, did I hear you correctly? Do you really hate someone? Do you really detest them? And so we can continue to examine our own woundedness, help others examine their woundedness, their flaws, their struggling, because this is the human condition, yet we are spiritual beings first. So getting our priorities straight means we can come from that place of compassion, and like the great lady Eleanor Roosevelt she said, nothing ever goes away until it teaches us what we need to know. And you know, from her own life example, she had many of those lessons to learn herself and maintained her dignity. Now, the message that all there is not a new one to my family. I told you a little bit about my dad. He was my role model for always turning to Spirit. But one night at the dinner table, he shared his own personal story, and I only heard it one time, but I got it. He, as a young man, grew up on the farm, the youngest of 3 siblings, and in high school, he drove the school bus. Now, the roads to and from the farm were muddy, so he had to walk to several miles to get to the school bus and then pick up the kids in the neighborhood, take them to school without getting stuck on rainy days. And he was a wonderful student. He loved his classes and his teachers. However, when he got home from school, Pop, my grandfather, expected him to be out on the farm learning farming. And my father and my grandfather would argue about how he spent his time in the afternoons, my dad. And so one day there was a very heated argument, and Dad said he ran out of the house, ran to the cornfield, and just let loose. He was beyond, well, he was in tears, but he was just feeling beyond any type of hope that he could have time to study and that he could make a life for himself outside of the farm. And he said, in that moment of tears and sorrow, he felt a presence. And this presence, he said, was angelic, whether it was in form or not. This is how he described it. And he said that this angel came toward me and wrapped its wings around me, and I have never, ever felt that amount of love flowing through me. And then he said, and ever since then, I've been going to church. And I'm taking you with me, that's what he said. So, he couldn't maintain that level of seriousness for very long, but he was talking about the power of love when you and I unite with Spirit. It's undescribable. And that level, that power of love that flows through all of us, it's possible to have it with one another. And this level of community has had such an outpouring of love to support one another. We want that to be our legacy in unity, is that love is the answer. Now, Julian of Norwich, let me just check my time here. Julia of Norwich, real quickly, is a Christian mystic, and she had many divine revelations and was ill for a long period of time and saw and witnessed visions and wrote them down for us. She wrote a book about these visions, and her transcendence was that all is well despite anything. All shall be well, and all manner of thing shall be well. So that whatever we're going through is here to help us learn, to grow, and evolve. What a reassuring message. You and I want and need this message to flow through us, not to be seen on the ceiling of the Michelangelo God on the Sistine Chapel, but rather God presence here, flowing through each of us. And we need to have it understood that that presence will have our backs properly understood. First, we must be aware who we are, our spiritual identity. Wake up to these calls of complex situations and unknown things, pandemics and problems, governments. How aware are we? Is the question. Are we willing, as in the poem, to just fritter away our day? Or are we going to intentionally have some type of spiritual practice where we can take all these concerns and all these needs and harmonize them and use them? You see, love will draw that out of us. So I just want to say today that this message is your good news, that you are protected, you're comforted, you are healed, you are loved, because all there is has your back. And properly understood, you are standing in the presence of all there is, and all there is being reflected in you. So it's both. You and I are in a relationship. It takes honesty, it takes guts, it takes good communication. But like a magnet, love will bring to us all the answers we need. And when we follow that guidance, we know that we are in the peace that passes all understanding. So I'm just going to encourage you to say now, silently to yourself, all there is has my back. And now turn to your neighbor and say, all there is has your back. And looking from the level of energy that you were able to do that with, even with your mask, I would say you understood the relief that feels like when you show up, you participate, you spiritually discern what you're going to do. Aren't we blessed? Thank you. So we're going to continue being in this state of opening to love within us and opening to the time of reflection. And meditation is all about you being present. So I'm going to offer you a meditation written by Eric Butterworth that you may not have heard before. And I think it's just so significant. So just relax and open, maybe put your arms and hands out, relax them, and listen to these beautiful words. For up to now, we've just said words to describe that which is magnificent and ineffable, immutable. But now we want to take these words and turn them into a creative process so that right here you have a living experience, an encounter with your true self. When we remember in the Bible, the first words are translated, "In the beginning, God." But we're suggesting, "In the beginning, allness." Feel the inclusivity of that word. Allness. Everything there is in you. It's available for your life, for your relationships. It's the wholeness of the universe in you, expressing out through you. So see yourself as a central point of light in the infinite light of God. The eachness of us in the allness. See yourself as an expression of love in the unlimited love of the universe. And see yourself healing in this love and experiencing a flow of substance and abundance, pouring, moving through you right now. And feel your oneness with the allness of the infinite, all there is, beginning in you right now. I am awake. I am aware of the allness of spirit flowing through me, an allness that always protects, comforts me. It is here. It is flowing through me right now. And as we come back to this place and time today, we remember to bring with us these memories, this experience of great love. That is you. That is your I am. That is your true spiritual identity. You are love. So take a deep breath and come back to this place. Breathing in this love and knowing it is you. God bless.
Thank you, Vicki. That was beautiful. So now is the time in our service for our tithes and our offerings. So whether you're online or whether you're here, we are grateful. We are grateful for your generosity in all the ways that you give. And so as you prepare your giving right now, let us say our our affirmation of abundance together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the joy of giving and receiving.
A smile's not a smile till it wrinkles your face. A bell's not a bell without ringing. A home's not a home when there's nobody there. A song's not a song without singing. And love isn't love till you give it away. Love isn't love till it's free. The love in your heart wasn't put there to stay. Your love isn't love till you give it away. You might think love is a treasure to keep, feelings to cherish and hold. But love is a treasure for people to share. You keep it by letting it go. And love isn't love till you give it away. Love isn't love till it's free. The love in your heart wasn't put there to stay. No, love isn't love till you give it away. 'Cause love can't survive when it's hidden inside, and love was meant to be shared. A smile's not a smile till it wrinkles your face. A bell's not a bell without ringing. A home's not a home when there's nobody there. A song's not a song without singing. And love isn't love till you give it away. Love isn't love till it's free. The love in your heart wasn't put there to stay. No, love isn't love till you give it away. No, love isn't love till you give it away.
Thank you, Dan, Nancy, and Julie. Thank you. So we bless our tithes and our offerings to go forth and do the outreach of Unity of Bon Air, and we are grateful. So now I'd like to acknowledge the prayer chaplains who are here today. So anyone, will our prayer chaplains please stand? We have Emily Pels. And so if you'd like to have a prayer, see Emily after the service. And if you're online, you can call our office and dial 6 and leave a prayer request there. So now I'd like to follow up with our final transformational opportunities and blessings that we have. So after the service today on Zoom, we have Courageous Conversations facilitated by Reverend Zita Carell. And today's topic is Imagine a World Where All Are Equally Valued. That's today on Zoom at 12:30. And tonight at 5 p.m., our spiritual gathering service topic is It True? And we will use the work of Byron Katie and Unitive Justice to learn better how to move away from self-judgment and judgment of others and affirm that truth of our being as Vicki so beautifully spoke about today. So join us then. To know anything and all there is to know about Unity at Bon Air, check out our weekly e-news, sign up for it on the website, and check our website events calendar. Now, last of all, is there anyone new here today in the room that we can welcome? Because we would love to welcome you if anybody. All right. Well, thank you. So let us come together then, and we would like to acknowledge all who participated in the service today. Thank you, Ruth, and thank you, Natalie, and her trainee, Veronica, back there. Yay. And Dan and Nancy and Julie, thank you for the beautiful music. And Reverend Vicki Bunch, thank you for this wonderful message today. So let us come together. Our service has now ended, and our ministry of love continues. We'll say our prayer for protection and followed by the peace song. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Check out the goodies on the promenade.